Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to take an in-depth journey into the history, design, varieties, and collector appeal of the Kennedy half-dollar, one of the most iconic and emotionally significant coins ever issued in the United States. A coin born out of national tragedy, but which became an enduring symbol of remembrance, artistry, and numismatic fascination. And to understand why this coin holds such an important place in both American history and the coin collecting community, we must go back to 1963, a year that shook the nation to its core with the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, the 35th President of the United States, whose life was cut short on November 22 in Dallas, Texas. And in the immediate aftermath of that tragedy, there was an overwhelming demand from the public to create a lasting tribute to honor his memory. A demand so strong that within weeks Congress and the United States Mint worked together to fast-track a new coin design that would feature Kennedy's portrait, and the denomination chosen was the half-dollar, which at that time was not only a large and prominent coin but also one that had seen declining circulation compared to quarters and dimes, making it a perfect canvas for a new national memorial coin. And thus in 1964, less than a year after Kennedy's death, the Kennedy half-dollar was released to the public, instantly embraced by Americans who not only wanted to spend it but more often chose to hoard it as a keepsake of their beloved president, with millions of coins disappearing from circulation as families tucked them away as souvenirs of the fallen leader. And the design itself was a collaboration of Mint chief engraver Gilroy Roberts, who created the dignified profile of Kennedy on the obverse, and Frank Gasparo, who crafted the reverse featuring the presidential coat of arms with a heraldic eagle grasping arrows and an olive branch, surrounded by 50 stars to symbolize the states, a design both powerful and symbolic, resonating deeply with the public and standing as one of the most recognizable American coin designs of the 20th century. And the earliest issues of 1964 were struck in 90% silver and 10% copper, with a massive mintage exceeding 273 million across the Philadelphia and Denver mints. Yet despite the high numbers, these coins were so eagerly hoarded that they rarely circulated, and in fact 1964 Kennedy has remained among the most common silver coins today because of the sheer volume saved, but their importance lies not in rarity but in symbolism, for they mark the first and only regular issue U.S. coin created directly in response to a modern president's assassination, and after 1964 the composition shifted due to rising silver prices, as the Coinage Act of 1965 reduced silver content in circulating coins. And the Kennedy half-dollar from 1965 to 1970 contained 40% silver, with clad outer layers of 80% silver and 20% copper bonded to an inner core of 21% silver and 79% copper, producing a total silver weight of about 0.1479 troy ounces per coin. And although still saved in large numbers, these 40% silver issues became less available in circulation, and by 1971 the Mint transitioned the half-dollar fully to copper-nickel clad composition, with the only exceptions being special collector issues struck in silver, such as proofs and later commemorative editions. And this transition marked the Kennedy half-dollar's entry into a long era where circulation declined drastically, for by the 1970s half-dollars were rarely used in commerce, with vending machines, parking meters, and cash registers largely ignoring the denomination, leaving the Kennedy half-dollar to become more of a collector's piece and ceremonial coin than an everyday currency. And yet despite its declining role in daily life, the Kennedy half-dollar became a cornerstone of U.S. numismatics, offering collectors endless varieties, errors, and rarities to chase, from the highly sought-after 1964 accented hair-proof variety, believed to be an early design modification that was later changed, making it relatively scarce and valuable, to the 1970 D half-dollar, issued only in mint sets and never released into general circulation, making it a key date of the clad series. And then there are transitional errors like 1971 D half-dollars accidentally struck on leftover 40% silver planchets, or the dramatic 1964 special mint set coins, extremely rare trial strikes that are some of the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever discovered. And speaking of value, some Kennedy half-dollars have reached staggering prices at auction, with the most famous examples being the 1964 special mint set pieces, one of which in pristine condition sold for well over $100,000, making it the highest auction price ever realized for a Kennedy half-dollar and cementing its reputation as a true numismatic treasure. And it is right here in the middle of our discussion that we must pause to appreciate what that auction result means, because a coin that was meant to honor a fallen president, released in massive quantities for everyday use, can in its rarest form achieve values rivaling classic rarities like 19th-century gold pieces or early silver dollars. And this shows the power of demand, symbolism, and scarcity combined, making the Kennedy half-dollar not only a historical artifact but also a genuine investment opportunity. And moving beyond the high-end rarities, the series is full of fascinating discoveries, such as the 1966 SMS double die obverse, the 1974 D double die obverse with a prominent doubling on the motto, "In God We Trust," and the 1982 No FG variety where the designer's initials were accidentally polished away from the reverse die, all of which command strong premiums among collectors. And in addition to minting errors and varieties, the Kennedy half-dollar also evolved through numerous special issues, such as the 1976 Bicentennial Edition featuring a dual date, 1776 to 1976, on the obverse and a special reverse design by Seth Huntington showing Independence Hall, which was minted in both circulation strikes and 40% silver collector editions, becoming one of the most beloved commemorative circulating coins in American history, and later, in 2014. The mint celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Kennedy half-dollar with a range of special issues, including a stunning gold version struck in 99.99% pure gold, reflecting the ongoing collector demand for this series. And through all of these changes, the Kennedy half-dollar has maintained its iconic status, continuing to attract new collectors, inspire roll hunters searching bank boxes for silver or error coins, and serve as a gateway into the broader world of numismatics. Because while many denominations have faded into obscurity or lost collector appeal, the Kennedy half-dollar remains alive, dynamic, and full of opportunities for discovery. And this longevity comes not only from the coin's beauty and symbolism but also from the deep emotional connection Americans feel toward John F. Kennedy himself, whose charisma, youth, and tragic death left an indelible mark on the national consciousness, making the coin that bears his portrait more than money. It is a piece of history, a memorial in metal, a daily reminder of a leader who inspired millions. And for collectors worldwide, the Kennedy half-dollar offers one of the most rewarding journeys in modern coinage, with challenges ranging from assembling complete sets of circulation strikes to hunting elusive varieties and errors. As we come toward the end of this deep exploration of the Kennedy half-dollar, it is important to step back and reflect on why this coin continues to inspire fascination among collectors, investors, historians, and everyday Americans more than 6 decades after its first release in 1964, because unlike many other coins that were simply products of economic need or design evolution, the Kennedy half-dollar was born from a moment of tragedy and collective grief, making it not just a circulating medium of exchange but a national memorial that allowed millions of Americans to feel connected to their fallen president. And even today that emotional connection still lingers in every roll, every coin album, and every silver stack that contains one of these pieces, reminding us of a time when coins were more than change in your pocket. They were part of the cultural fabric of the nation. And this enduring symbolism is one of the reasons why the Kennedy half-dollar series has proven so resilient even as the denomination itself has faded from everyday use. Because let's be honest, half-dollars are rarely encountered in daily transactions anymore, and yet the mint continues to produce them every year primarily for collectors, proof sets, and special issues, which demonstrates just how much demand remains for this coin, not as money but as history in your hands. And when you think about the wide spectrum of Kennedy half-dollars that exist, from the common 1964 circulation strikes that millions of Americans saved as mementos, to the scarce 1970 D that was never released for circulation, to the bicentennial issues with their dual dates and special reverse, to the ultra-rare 1964 special mint set coins that have sold for 6 figures at auction, you realize that this single coin series encapsulates nearly every aspect of numismatics, from mass-produced silver bullion to rarities worthy of museum display, and that range is exactly what makes it so attractive to both beginner collectors and advanced specialists, because a new collector can start with a simple circulated 1971 Kennedy half-dollar pulled from a roll at the bank, while an experienced numismatist can spend years hunting elusive varieties, die errors, and high-grade gems for their registry sets, and both collectors are still part of the same story, connected by a shared appreciation for a coin that honors a president who remains one of the most remembered figures of the 20th century. And this inclusiveness, this ability to appeal to all levels of collecting, is part of what ensures the Kennedy half-dollar's longevity, because as long as people are interested in U.S. coins, there will always be interest in Kennedy halves, whether it's for their silver content, their artistry, their historical significance, or simply the nostalgia they evoke. And when we consider how many other denominations have come and gone, the half-cent, the 20-cent piece, the large cent, and even the circulation roll of the silver dollar, it is remarkable that the Kennedy half-dollar, despite its reduced use in commerce, has never been discontinued, standing as a testament to its special place in the American story. And so as collectors we not only get to enjoy its beauty, its silver shine, and its fascinating varieties, but we also get to preserve and pass along that story to future generations, ensuring that the Kennedy half-dollar continues to serve not just as a memorial to one president, but as a reminder of the way coins can capture and carry history. And so whether you are stacking silver 1964s, searching rolls for rare errors like the 1974 D double die obverse or the no FG varieties, or investing in the highest graded proofs and gold commemoratives, you are participating in a numismatic tradition that is both rich and meaningful. And in that way, the Kennedy half-dollar is not just another coin to collect. It is a journey, a legacy, and a treasure of American history that will never lose its shine. And with that, I hope you enjoyed this detailed exploration of the Kennedy half-dollar, its history, its value, its design, and its lasting significance, and I hope this inspires you to look more closely at the coins in your own collection or to begin a collection if you have not yet started, because the Kennedy half-dollar is a perfect place to begin your numismatic adventure, offering lessons in history, artistry, economics, and above all, remembrance. So the next time you hold one of these coins, take a moment to think about not just its silver content or its grade, but the story it carries, the hands it has passed through, and the legacy it represents. And with that thought, we close today's journey, and as always, thanks for watching.